Hello and welcome to We Never Met, the podcast where I have an interesting stranger who I've never met before on. Today we have, you can introduce yourself.
Eric Dolister.
And how would you summarize what you do? Just quickly so people kind of have an idea of who you are.
I'd like to, say that I'm a new wedding filmmaker.
Okay.
I just started doing weddings last year.
Yeah.
And take some photos on the side. I like music, photos, video, all that kind of jazz.
You do everything pretty much.
Pretty much
everything creatively.
The go-to fun things to do. Yeah.
So I guess to start off even, because I did see you played in a band, or are you still in a band now? Or
no, I was in a band called These Fitting Visions.
Okay.
They're in Milwaukee.
Sure.
And I played bass and backup sang in it.
Okay.
I'm not in it anymore. Just because I decided to continue going through doing film all the video stuff and
like
photos.
Yeah. What did you like specifically about doing music though? Do you still play on the side? Do you still?
I kind of wish I wish I had the time to right now.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I know that's an excuse that a lot of people give.
Yeah.
But
it's true though. If you
I feel like you really got to triple down on what it is that you want to do. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of Swiss Army knives out there that try to do everything, and that's cool. That's for some people.
Yeah.
But I just find that I really needed to really harness in what it was that I wanted to do.
Yeah. So you kind of stopped doing that a little bit. But do you feel like any of those skills transfer to what you're doing more now, which is film and photography and things like that?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Probably the longest part about me editing things is just picking the music and making sure that it flows this way and cutting it here to make sure I spend way too much time doing that. And I have playlists and playlists of all these different kinds of music for vlogs, weddings, anything. And all my edits are completely just focused around music. They're all built around how the music is. I have to put the score first. The music down, and then all my the sound effects come after but you know what I mean. Music drives edits for me 90% of the time.
Yeah, and that's kind of I noticed about your videos. You pick very cinematic and good music. It really gives you the feels. And then talking about that video that you posted about your mom, that video made me cry. I don't even know you. But it was so touching and stuff, and we can kind of get into that. And is that how you started creating video and film?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to say thank you, and I'm sorry because I don't really know how to respond, because everybody was responding the same way. I was I don't know how to respond, but
it was really great.
And thank you. But that was a video that I felt like I had to do.
Yeah.
No, she recorded me ever since I was born. So her grandma gave her and her sister a camcorder because her aunt had a kid 3 months after me. So hey, film your kids, send us videos of them. So she recorded me all the time, and I just really, growing up, I always loved that process. I always loved being around the camera.
Sure.
I always wanted one myself.
Yeah.
And she would record, she was vlogging 20 years before.
Oh, really?
Vlogging was the thing. Yeah. So it wasn't just Christmas concerts or birthday parties or anything. It was just a day in the life,
a Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the kid and the dog playing in the snow for the first time, or stuff like that. So I just really enjoyed just those things.
Sure.
So I eventually saved up for my first camcorder when I was, I think, 10 or 12 or something like that, around there.
Yeah.
And it was this huge JVC. The only reason I got it was because it had a flip out screen. This is one of the first flip out screens on a camcorder.
Yeah.
And the screen was 2 inches. You know what I mean? It was just so bad.
Yeah.
But I just started doing videos that way and got all the. From time to time, there's a cringy video. You don't notice until a couple months later, and you're
Yeah.
But I definitely got the majority of them out of the way. Super early on.
Yeah. That's what I really loved about my parents too, because they were in a similar thing where they filmed everything, and now being able to go back and look at all that stuff that they filmed is gold. Being able to just watch yourself as a kid, on a Thursday when you were home from school or something. You know what I mean? Like
you see the similarities still. Like you make the same facial expressions. It's just like, oh
yeah, exactly. So that's how you got into it. And then when did you start getting more serious about doing it as like a career and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's kind of a good question, because for a long time I was just like carrying on the tradition.
Sure.
You know, and I just really enjoyed doing that, because even looking back on things 2 years, you know, later was already like, wow, you know, I mean, well, I mean, I'm in my 20s, so it's, you know, those are like the years that just things change a lot.
It's rapid fire. Yeah. You change a lot. Yeah.
So I guess it was, I mean, only about a year ago.
Okay.
I got my first DSLR late 2017, I think, or early 2017, but I didn't learn like shutter speeds, apertures, any of that. I didn't learn any of it. I didn't even know how to use it until about probably halfway through. Okay. So, and then I had to like try to develop my own craft and, you know, style and stuff like that. So, I mean, honestly, I'd probably say the first wedding film was when it started to go serious. And that was not even a year ago. Yeah. That was last May. So
is that crazy to you that it's like ramped up that quickly?
It seems like a really long time already, but at the same time, it's no time. Yeah. When we're talking about weddings and, you know, the things that can just evolve from that, it's no time at all.
Do you like doing like wedding videography?
Definitely. Honestly, when if you would have asked me way back when I was doing my own home videos and stuff, weddings would have been one of the top 3 things that I would have wanted to do. Would have been.
It sounds like it's stressful. At least for me, it would be, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. Well, it's stressful planning everything until you get there, and like the ride there is like super stressful.
Yeah.
But then once it starts going, you're just going. Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about music and with both music and doing video and separately. But was just, I don't know. Do you ever do something where while you're doing it, whether if it's like cooking or, you know, anything, do you just like focus in, you know, like you don't have any other thoughts going on in your head? It's kind of how it is for me. Like I'm just in the zone the whole day, you know.
You're not like thinking about other things that could be stressing you out in the external world. It's like it's like a Zen experience where you're just going, and I know exactly what you mean. But like, so you started out. How'd you start out doing video before you got to the wedding point? Because you were doing something different, right, before the wedding videography and things like that.
Yeah, I was doing Instagram. Well, I was doing vlogs on Instagram stories.
How did that work? Yeah,
pretty extensive. Super signature kind of thing. Yeah, honestly, because I was learning how to do everything, so I was watching like YouTube tutorials. I was spending like at least 2 hours a day, at least. Like it was bare minimum 2 hours, maybe 4-6 hours a day. Yeah. Just going through all the YouTube videos that I could.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across one that was about this guy doing Instagram stories and how powerful and effective it was because it was so different and so unique. Yeah. And I remember watching it and I was like, yeah, right. Get real. Like nobody has time. What? Nobody's going to care. And it disappears after 24 hours. Exactly. You know what I mean? Gone. Like I got it. I definitely did. But then it just like sat with me, you know, again, those thoughts in your head all day, and it would eat at me like every single day. And I'm like, you know, that is just a really different kind of thing. Cause I just started taking photos on Instagram at the time too.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was trying to, you know, more or less build an audience because I always did want to take this seriously. I always, you know, did want to do this as a profession, even if it's just like a secondary job kind of thing. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah. Because honestly, just running the whole business side of things really kind of scares me because I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about it either.
So with Instagram stories, I said, okay, let's just. It started off where I was like, let's just see how I could tell one story of the day or summarize the whole day in just 15 seconds or less.
Wow.
You know, I was like, that sounds really cool, you know, because I don't have to commit, you know, it's not super long, it's not complicated or anything like that. Let's just do that. Yeah. So I tried doing that and that only lasted for like 4 or 5 days because I had vlogged for so long that it just started coming out naturally like that. But I was having to speed them up, you know, I was having to do them and like, they couldn't be over 2 minutes long. Yeah. So that kind of developed its own style too. I mean, it was a work in progress. You know, I feel like it got better and better, every day. But the main reason that I wanted to do it was, again, like I just started, learning how to use the DSLR. So I was trying to just really like reinforce everything about it. So I didn't have to think about, what should I use here? Kind of things. I wanted to get better at editing. Like I wanted to create that workflow, organization, super speed up and everything. And I accomplished like all those things by doing it.
Yeah.
But as far as like me, like why did I decide to do it? I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought, that would be like a really unique kind of thing to do. I was doing a photo and a vlog every single day for like 7 months.
Jeez, that's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but I also I wasn't really getting any, or at the time I wasn't getting that many jobs, for like other people or stuff. So like that was just my hobby. That was just what I was doing all day after work.
What were you doing for work at that point?
I was a delivery driver for Jimmy John's.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I was right around here. I was right down, like in Bayview area.
Okay.
Third Ward.
Yeah. So
a lot of my photos, my early photos were in the Third Ward because I would always just see things while I was driving around.
Yeah.
That's another reason I chose street too, just because I saw so many things happening that I just wanted to do street photos. But
that's a good segue into like what would you consider, because all your photos they're amazing. I think they're really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they all have a very, it's like a similar style.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like? How do you develop that? Because I think with me personally, that's the one thing that a lot of my stuff lacks is like photography wise. There's not like a similar aesthetic. It's kind of all over the place,
Yeah.
So like, how did you come to that place?
Well, it's, again, looking up all those YouTube tutorials and stuff. I mean, I'm pretty much, obviously, if you couldn't tell by this point, I'm definitely self-taught, and YouTube taught. But so they definitely cram certain methods and things down your throat with that. One of them being, you need to pick a niche, you need to get a certain style, everything needs to look the same, which is just true, because I didn't even notice until they mentioned that. I looked through and I was like, wow, all these accounts that I did follow were like that. So in the beginning I tried to have every edit look the exact same, and that wasn't necessarily the best thing for each photo, and I kind of knew that, and that was kind of bothering me. So then after I took that, I didn't even get to the break part, but after I took this break from the stories, I was having this kind of frustration, this kind of creative block with photos, at least. And I think it was because I was having to edit everything the exact same.
Okay.
So my compromise was, because I knew how important it was to keep things very similar, because I didn't have a website or anything like that at the time, was I decided to just do seasonal things. Okay. So like I would pick a certain style for each season, and have that kind of shine, with whatever Milwaukee looked like, that time of year. So and that's kind of tough still, because trying to, like, when you're trying to transition from, say, like fall into winter, especially the way Wisconsin works, it's almost impossible. Like I'll just stop posting for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, come on, give me something. Like I need to figure out what's going to happen the rest of winter.
Because it's so crazy, like fluctuating. You just don't know what's gonna happen.
So it's a great thing, but it's also super frustrating. I think it's kind of the same way. If you did take every single photo individually and edit it the way that you felt like it should be edited, but then nothing looks, but then nothing. You can't put like these 3 photos like together because they'll all look totally different. So it's, It's whichever side you want to pick, So are you completely self-taught throughout, like photography and film, or did you go to school for that or anything? Or I tried to go to school for TV and production at METC, and I had like, I think 3 classes left of my prereqs, and long story short, it didn't work out.
I mean, I felt like I went to school in like for video and did all that stuff, but I felt like I didn't really learn as much as the degree was worth. Like it would have been better if I just went out and just like did it. Cause the first job I had out of college, it was way more of a learning experience than like actually going to school. Like I don't use any of the editing software we used. I don't like the cameras, you know what I mean? It's all like irrelevant at this point. I think that's
that's the thing I get to take away from not finishing school is I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I still had that strive to like make up for me not going to school.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, like you said, with the problems with school is I feel like you probably don't get the hands-on experience. I mean, sure you do, but it's probably not the type of experience that you're looking for, that you want to get. Yeah. You know, and then you're strapped down with all the schoolwork. So, you know, I mean, I can't say because I didn't, you know, graduate, but I've
no,
definitely.
But you still went though.
Yeah,
you still know what that's about. But no, it is like that because we use Avid, which is like not even a relevant software unless you work in the news, you know. Okay. And the cameras were kind of out of date, and I was just like, well, I should have just done this and not, or like gone to a cheaper school or something, you know. Like it was really expensive. So like, how did that, was it frustrating for you to try to do that, or were you just so into it that you were like, oh yeah, this is fun?
There were definitely things that were frustrating, like when something just wouldn't make sense.
You're like, why is this happening?
Or like I would try to do an effect, I'm like, why is this not working?
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, I was just really excited that, you know, because I had a Nikon D3300. That's like an entry level thing. Yeah. It doesn't even really do video. You know, like to put it simply, none of your exposure settings really matters because it's going to auto expose anyways. Oh. Like if you put the camera like put it down on the couch and then like whipped it up to like see the kitchen, it would do like this bright flash and it would like expose
trying
for
to
it.
Adjust it, yeah.
So there was no creative control with that. Okay. So that was kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was still so excited to just be learning everything.
Yeah.
I know that kind of sounds cliche, but I mean, I don't think you could daily vlog for 7 months straight and post photos and stuff every single day as well without really enjoying like what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but that's not to say that people that don't daily vlog or post daily video or daily photos don't enjoy what they're doing either.
But I mean, you can tell just based on like what you're posting and stuff, like you just genuinely enjoy to do it. Yeah. Like what was your like first video that do you remember like the first actual like start to finish video that you did? Like, do you remember what it was?
Like how back are we talking?
As far back as you can think.
God.
Like, were you a kid with that camera?
Yeah, it was like the VHS kind of stuff, you know, so I would have to record everything perfectly in like that little mini VHS tape, you know, in the camcorder. And then you'd have to take, you know, all those 3 colored cords and, you know, record it onto your VHS and VCR. And
what kind of videos were you filming back then? Were it just like silly, like,
really silly. I was like 10, 11 years old, you know, just messing around with, you know, you have like those pre-built effects like blue tint and digital and, you know, wide stretch and stuff. So you just be like making videos just based around that.
Yeah. Because my friend, when I was growing up, he had a VHS camcorder and we used to do like sketches and stuff on it, like really bad ones. And I really want to get that footage and like see what it was like. Like we made like a Blair Witch Project video. Ooh. And I've never even seen the Blair Witch Project, so I don't know how accurate it was, but like it was just fun, and I think that that's why I got into video too, is because like at the very beginning, it was like something that I just really enjoyed. It didn't matter if I got paid for it; it didn't matter if anyone saw it. Like it was just a fun experience, and I just really liked it. Did you have like a similar experience as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, because I thought for a really long time that music was the passion. Okay. You know, and I mean, I find myself blessed to enjoy 2 hobbies so much. Yeah. You know, but there's always been something for some reason that I don't know and can't describe. Yeah. That pulls me back to video, and I'm that much more obsessed with you know doing video and stuff.
I think, you know, to be honest, like I'm so impressed that you have only been doing this for the amount of time you say, like on that level, because it's like the quality of your content is so extremely good.
Yeah, thank you.
Like even like I was looking at your Facebook and you made that like kind of joke rap video.
Oh my God,
about PewDiePie and YouTube, and even that was like, wow, this is like really well done. Like, and it wasn't even like a serious thing. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and I think that's how you can tell when people really love what they do is like, they go on little offshoots and like even like little like fun projects are like still cool. You know. Like, first of all, where did that come from? Like, where did that video idea?
I mean, if you're not familiar with YouTube, PewDiePie is the king.
Yep.
And I watched him back, on his rise, just like I feel like a lot of people were, 'cause I feel like he was the original, gamer. He was the one to kind of make it popular. Yeah. So I was watching him for a bit. I kind of fell off because I kind of just wasn't really watching YouTube in general that much at the time. And I resubscribed once he just started doing memes all the time, like every day. I was like, oh man, I got to get on this. But it's just the whole war. Like I really stand behind it because I think it's for the sake of YouTube. Like I had to do my part.
It's becoming more and more corporate, essentially. YouTube and I feel like too, because I mean the amount of channels that I have started and then deleted on YouTube is insane. Sure. But I've been doing that stuff since like 2009 or something, and it was the landscape was so different than it is now. It's a lot more catered to businesses. Yeah. Which is
that's the scary thing and that's why everybody's made such a big deal about PewDiePie versus T-Series. It's just because we know that it's becoming that. I mean, YouTube Rewind last year was the most disliked video because of that exact reason. Yeah. So and everybody in YouTube got together. People like went and undisliked Justin Bieber's music video. That was the most disliked one, just to make YouTube Rewind 2018 the most disliked video. Just to prove that point. So that's kind of the other thing with that's the main thing I think with the war too, is that everybody's trying to make that point. If we got him to 100 million first, because there's no way that he's gonna continuously outlive them. But YouTube's gonna be forced to recognize him despite mistakes that any human just does. So
I think
it's important.
I think
that's why I did it.
And it is too, like, for people who don't know, is a T-Series at the other channel, right? It's like it's an Indian company, right? Like I'm not quite sure exactly what they do, but I know that they make music videos and stuff. But they've been around for years and years and years before they decided to get a YouTube channel. And how do they get so many subscribers so quickly? Just the content that they're putting out is like stuff that they post like so many videos a day. It's like at least 6 videos a day. I know it's at least 6. But it's because there's like over 1 billion people in India. So there's a lot. And there's not that, and India is not like really a huge YouTube. Sure. So like that's like the main community channel for them. And it's hard to compete with that. But where did the idea for that? You're like, where did the idea for a rap come from that? You're like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, where did that come from? I mean, for that video. Well, did you see the diss that he did? No. Because that's an actual song. Oh, it is? Yeah, PewDiePie actually did that. I just covered it. Oh, and I just sang it and added autotune because I can't rap. I cannot rap. Don't even, no. But, so I just covered it. Oh, so that's a real song. To it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So he did that. And then a couple, once the sub gap started getting lower, I was like, I gotta step up. Do you know where it is at now? Like, do you know if they've eclipsed him, or is he still ahead? T-Series passed it was like, I think 10 minutes max. Okay. One, like super late one night, like maybe last week or so. And then Elon Musk, like, was on one of his videos and it just shot up. Yeah. It shot right back up. Yeah. Oh, what was he doing on one of his videos? He was reviewing memes. Oh, really? That's it. Yeah. Elon Musk is everywhere. Right. Yeah. He's huge right now. Yeah. He spent like 5 minutes just laughing at a deer. Really? Yeah. Oh God. So it's pretty good. So, for weddings and stuff, I guess we get back to that question. What do you like most about doing a wedding? Besides just like the Zen, like what do you like specifically about like that area, I guess, of video? It's gonna sound cliche. Yeah. But it's my other argument to that is it's cliche for a reason. Yeah. But I truly think it's such a prestige thing to be able to do, to just not only to have somebody trust you to capture like the biggest day in their lives, but to pay for it as well. You know, like it's like those are two huge things for me.
And I take a lot of pride in being able to even accomplish it in the first place, much less make them as good as people are, seeing them.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy that aspect. Plus, I just think the coolest part for me, I love editing, by the way.
Okay.
A lot of people hate editing.
Yeah.
When it comes to just doing video, I think editing is the most fun part.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I didn't have to ever edit again, I probably wouldn't.
You take that.
I'd take it, but I really like putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, I do too, yeah.
And just the final outcome of everything is always just so satisfying to me. Plus the couples reacting and saying like, I watched it like 20, 30 times this weekend, cried every single time. My grandma cried,
Yeah.
That's huge to me. And I know they're not lying because like you can tell, you've been talking to them, you've been keeping in contact with them for, a couple months.
Yeah. And it also would be a weird thing to lie about. If they're like, I cried, and they're like, actually, I didn't.
This guy sucks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and I think the most fun part about doing weddings and just like wedding films is the concept that all weddings are the exact same. Cause like, sure. Yeah. It's prep, ceremony, reception, but there's different elements in every day, like sometimes there's a flower girl, sometimes there's not.
Yeah.
They could have a bouquet toss. Sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
Things like that. So there's different elements in every film, and it's really cool to have those in.
Yeah.
Well, also, I really like to cater. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I really like to cater to this. Again, this goes back to music.
Yeah.
Because I really like to cater to who the couple actually is. Like when I sit down with them for a meeting, like I really try to get who they are, out, and you can get a good vibe of people as well. Yeah. You get their hobbies, their music interests, stuff like that. But again, with music, I try to get like what they listen to. I remember one couple, they told me that they listened to Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I used to ask this question like right away because I'm, I have a music history, so I would try to relate to that somehow right in the beginning. That's a good way for me to, get a feel for them. But I was like, these guys are lying. Like, there's no way that these guys listen to. Like, I'm not judging. Yeah. I'm not assuming anything. But I'm like, these guys are lying. That didn't feel right. You know?
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the meeting, I got it out of them that they listened to Drake, and I'm like,
why do you lie?
Tell me these things. They're like, well, we didn't want Drake to be playing our whole wedding film, and I'm like, no, that's not.
I'm not gonna play Drake in the background.
No, So and it was funny because that couple asked, or I always ask the question. It's another really good question where I say if by some terrible accident and I lose all my footage, if there was like one clip or one thing that you would want to be saved, like what would it be?
Yeah.
And this woman said, the drinking and the dancing.
Of course.
The same ones that listen to Drake.
Yeah.
And so like the reception was lit. So
really?
I did a song that would like you never play in a wedding film.
Yeah.
And people like thought that was like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Because it matched. Because I mean they're dancing to that style of music.
Yeah.
So I can't throw like, your strings and piano kind of nice
it's like
pretty
really
stuff
tame
at the
music
end. And,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
So not to give away that secret, but I really like to cater the whole film around what kind of music that they listen to as well.
Yeah. What was your first like clients for weddings? Like how did you get into doing weddings?
So this goes back to the Instagram stories thing. I was doing them for, I think it was like 3 months at the time.
Okay.
Maybe. And this one model hit me up to take photos.
Yeah.
And I was actually following her for a while because she, because I was new, to Milwaukee, trying to find other people that, took photos and get inspired, pull inspiration from them. So I was hyped because I was like, dude, I'm going to be one of those guys that, that I see that I go follow. Like, I'm excited because I just started, I wasn't, the beginning of trying to grow on any platform is super slow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Which for the record, I don't really care about the following or anything anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
But I still think that there is a huge importance to it.
I mean, if you're booking stuff and trying to get people to, it matters.
You can't. Yeah, it does matter. You can't fight it. But I didn't care. I used to care a lot back then.
What, like, it would make you sad that there wasn't enough people?
Not necessarily sad, but it was just really,
like some
really
sort of validation.
Hard. Yeah,
like, I felt like that too.
Instagram makes it real hard.
Yeah, I would just, because I kind of felt like that too when I started doing videos and stuff, and I'm like, man, nobody's watching this. Like, that sucks. Like, and there was some sort of like validation factor of like, which is a bad like routine to get into, where you feel like you're validated by how many likes you get on something, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is.
So I started shooting with this girl, right?
Yeah.
And we're taking a couple photos, and I wasn't really that good because I was trying to be like edgy. You know, I was trying to have a totally different style. Not that it was good, but I was purposely editing to be different, you know,
sure.
At least at first.
Yeah.
So we take some photos, and she goes, and this is back to the, just so you know, I am going back to the question you asked.
Okay.
It does not seem like it, but this plays a huge part. Trust me.
We'll get there.
She goes, so actually I saw that you do these Instagram story, like video things. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, those are like super unique and super dope. She goes, like photos are cool, but like I would really appreciate one of those. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. You know, what do you want to do? She goes, well, this underwear company sent me this underwear. I'm like, oh,
okay.
Just wait a minute. What?
Yeah, all right.
Just took a total right turn.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. So she's like, so like maybe just like me walking around, like use some of the same kind of music you use, and just start walking around, you know, just like me walking around the Third Ward or something. And I'm like, okay. Sure. You know, what am I supposed to? Yeah. So she just walked around in a bra and underwear with like a long jacket
just
on.
in the Third Ward.
And just, you know, doing the thing, whatever. I gave her like this 20-second, 30-second long video clip. All my friends lose their mind. My girlfriend gets pissed off.
Yeah, that seems about right.
And I didn't really get that much from it, you know? So that kind of bummed me out. Again, I cared back then.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, you know, I was really, but then about a week or so later, this girl hits me up and she says, hey, I've been watching
the same one. The same girl?
No, different one.
Okay.
She messages me on Instagram and says, hey, I've been following your stuff for a while.
Yeah.
For like the last week or so. She goes, I really like it. It's super unique. It's different. She goes, do you do weddings? And I was like, no, but I'd love to.
Yeah.
You know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, what do you charge? I was like, I won't charge anything. Like, I'm just, you know, because, you know, you think to get into weddings, you have to do, you know, your family or a friend for free,
like,
and then just hope it goes somewhere, and that whole plan. And you could end up just sitting there with, you know, a wedding film or two for like 2 or 3 years. You know, like it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I struck gold with this woman because she ended up wanting to pay me. I mean, I didn't make anything because I paid like for a second shooter because I was freaking out, and all the music licensing and all that. Like I didn't see any of it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just to cover being able to pull it off without me going like under.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But this was the beginning of 2018, like first week of 2018. She asked this question, and then and her wedding wasn't until like end of September.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, that's a lot of time, you know?
Yeah.
Which in reality, it kind of isn't anymore, because now I'm getting hit up for like the next year, which is mind blowing to me because I don't even know how to keep up with people.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I message them like once a month, or like how often, how late?
What
know?
do I talk to you?
Yeah. So this other wedding couple, this all stemmed from Instagram stories.
Oh wow.
This other wedding photography couple wanted me to be like their video option. So I said, hey, or they wanted me as their video option, but they couldn't really get me any gigs because I didn't have any wedding films. It's kind of hard to get, you know,
without any examples.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I went back to the woman that had hit me up for her wedding at the end of September. I'm just trying not to drop any names. And I'm like, hey, you know, I got this gig, you know, deal kind of thing. Do you have anybody that, you know, is getting married at the beginning of the year? Like, I'll probably come on the same deal because you're the first person that hit me up, and then this person would be the first wedding that I would ever do. So I feel like they both deserve that, you know, that deal.
Yeah.
And she's, oh, I'm a bridesmaid in one of these weddings. Let me ask. So I scored that one. I was the beginning of May, and then almost everybody's seen that one. And that's the one that nobody believed that was my first wedding film.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of people saw it and nobody thought that was my first wedding film.
Oh, wow.
So between, the original woman that hit me up got me that one. She got me all the others, which eventually got me all the weddings that I had last year. She gave me the starting point.
Yeah.
You know, like she gave me the base to be able to work with, you know, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with that base, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a scary thing because, you know, it's a different kind of grind because you sit there and that first year, you're like, I'm just gonna do the best I can. I mean, I'm not going to do the best with any wedding films, but you know, I'm gonna do the best with these wedding films that I have, so that I have that strong base, so that I can do whatever it is that I'm doing right now. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I think that's an interesting point though, because I have felt similar too, where it's like once starting off is like a really easy thing to do, at least for me. It's once there's an expectation, you know, that's when it gets harder. Once you're expected of a certain quality and all this stuff, that's when it becomes, I feel like, more pressure, you know, is that where you're at now, kind of, where there's like an expectation of excellence?
Yes. Cause I do like an hourly thing with like a 4-hour minimum, and some weddings are only 4 hours. So I'm glad that I have that as an option, because the people that have reached out to me for their 4-hour wedding are like, I can't find anybody that's only offering 4 hours for, you know, a wedding that isn't, you know, just an all day thing that's, you know, 2,000 plus, you know? And so I'm glad that I do that. But a lot of people that still would have an entire wedding day think that they could get enough footage in only 4 hours. And it's like, well, you know, I'm not going to get this part of the day. I'm not going to get that part of the day. You know, I'm not trying to sell myself or anything like that. But if they said, I watched this wedding film, which was like an 8-hour film, I can't get it in, you know, so it's frustrating to
how long are
to sell
the wedding films when you're done with them?
Like it's how long is like the wedding film each?
Are some of them 8 hours? Is like that a real thing? Like how long is the edit that you give? Oh,
no. I'm talking about how long I'm filming that day.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
No,
I thought you were giving people 8 hours of footage. Here you go.
Yeah, just 8 hours of super cinematic, crazy. Yeah. No. So I charge hourly on the day of.
Sure.
A lot of people like to do them different.
You know?
I would love to be able to just charge a flat base. Yeah. You know, I would love that. But from the feedback that I'm getting from the couples that I'm booking right now, apparently what I'm doing is a really good thing, because I'm super flexible with that. Yeah. But it's hard to get them to be flexible with, you know, the other side of it.
Yeah. So what do you?
My films are about like 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes long. Now that I'm really starting, now that I have the gear to capture enough audio and stuff like that, I'm able to kind of push it more into 6 minutes, maybe 8. I don't know if I really care for films that are like 10 or 12 minutes long though. Because I feel, and again, this could be just because I started. But I like fast paced stuff. I like you to watch it once and go like, dude, I want to watch it again. Instead of watching it that one time and going, okay. You know, I want you to be able to want to watch it again.
Sure.
I just like it being fast paced. Like it doesn't just kind of fall off anywhere. You know, like it's exciting the whole way through.
Right.
And I feel like that's accomplished with having it around 5 minutes.
Yeah. Does filming weddings and doing that change your idea of like, I don't know if you're ever gonna get married. I don't know you that well and stuff, but you know what I mean, like weddings.
That's the question. That's the question, really. Well, first off, my girlfriend is very supportive on what I do, but she doesn't understand why people spend so much money on weddings. You know, the average at least.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I want a big wedding because my family loves it. Like, but at the same time, I'm starting to already get that vibe where, if I truly wanted to have that big wedding, now I'm seeing so many ideas, so many different themes, so many different. I can't possibly cram it all into one perfect day. There's just no way. So that would drive me nuts trying to plan it. So I probably wouldn't want anything to do with it.
You're just the hands off.
So I'm feeling more of like an elopement or something. Okay. You know, or like a destination kind of wedding where we just like drop all the money on the honeymoon or something and just have like a wild vacation for like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, because I was wondering if you saw like a bunch of weddings that maybe some of them weren't like these couples were like not very nice or something, like if it made you jaded,
not very nice,
like to each other on the day or something, or like they were like bad. You know what I mean? Like if that would make you like jaded towards
no
future.
Anything that's gone wrong in a wedding. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm expecting, a bridezilla somewhere down the line. I can't avoid that.
Yeah.
But the hard but.
Yeah.
The only times I got scary was when something else went wrong.
Okay.
Like this one priest, he forgot to have the bride read her vows.
Oh, really?
So the groom read his vows and then she didn't. He just like kind of skipped past. And again, like, you know how like back when I said like I'm in the zone, I'm not even paying attention to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even I realized I was like, wait, something was off.
Someone
I
missed
felt
something.
it. I felt it. I don't know if it was the way that the crowd was around me, or how she was or something. But I was like, something's off. Something happened. What did I miss?
Yeah.
And then, so like I follow them down, and they go into the back room and stuff, and she's like red faced, crying, like not screaming.
Yeah.
And she's like, you only get married once, and I mean, I feel that. I get that. Nobody was arguing with her. They're all like, what? Because she had apparently told them while they were signing the papers up front. Yeah. She goes, hey, I never read my vows, by the way. And he's like, oh, okay. And then like didn't, and then continued to not do that. Like, and I was like mad.
No.
And then there was one time where they paid for an open bar, but it wasn't an open bar. Oh. So, I mean, naturally, that would probably upset anybody. They got pretty heated over that, and they had to go handle that, and that was a little frustrating because that was one of those like shorter weddings for me.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, nothing bad towards me or anything that I've done. I am terrified from when that happens though, because I know it will. Come to you, it's inevitable. It's me. I'm gonna mess up somewhere or trip on somebody or drop something on somebody or anything.
Yeah. Do you get like close in weddings? Like, are you like legit like really close to the subject that you're filming when you do it, or do you have like enough length? Yeah.
I really like wide stuff. I really like my wide shots. I love my close-ups, but I really like wide shots.
Yeah.
And especially when you're using, your gimbals and steady cams and stuff like that. It works so much better with wide stuff. Yeah. So I'm normally trying to film on that.
Okay.
And that does require me to be a little bit closer. So I feel like I get in the way of photographers a lot. And that sucks because I feel like wedding films are a very new thing.
Sure. Yeah.
They're kind of a trendier thing where photography, it's like you don't think, oh, we don't need photos for this wedding. No, it's there. That's happening. Yeah. Like that they're a given. I think there was only one photographer that I did a wedding with that had previously shot with a videographer.
Oh, really?
None of them have.
So they don't really know how to.
So you're trying to work around. You're trying to not have each other in each other's shots, and it's that's kind of tough. But I mean, for the most part, not even for the most part, all the photographers that I've worked with have been like super cool about it. You know, because we both know, what we're trying. We're good enough to avoid each other.
Sure, where you're not standing at the altar with them in a shot.
Well, you always have to sit, you always have to at least talk with them for a solid 5 or 10 minutes beforehand and be like, hey, when they walk down, what are we doing? So we don't trip over each other or something. So
did you ever consider doing photography for weddings too, or no? Just
I would love to.
Yeah.
But I like video so much more.
Yeah.
And there's so much. There's definitely competition with video for weddings, but there's so much more with photos.
I bet, yeah.
And again, I don't really know how to market myself in that way to stand out that much.
Yeah. What do you think it is about video that you like so much more? Like, what do you think that is? Like, just the storytelling ability and like,
yeah. I like the the music, finding the right parts of the speeches and stories and stuff. And I just really like motion shots.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. There are some photos that video can just not even touch. That this single photo could be better than the whole video. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I'm more comfortable with it.
Because I think for me, like, I gravitate towards video more. It's because I'm just more interested in people, I think, and the more of like a narrative and like who you are and stuff. And while you can get that in a photo, sometimes a video is a better vehicle usually.
Yeah, I feel like for a wedding and trying to learn who the people are,
right, it's
a lot easier with video.
Yeah, yeah. And you can, like, it's easier to strike more emotion and stuff, I feel like, in video. And I don't know. I always think to myself that too, like, why did I gravitate towards video over everything else? You know, like, why is that the medium that I chose? You know, and I don't know. Yeah. I think it's that, but
that's the same thing. It's like I don't know either. I don't know why making videos is just so much more captivating of a thing for me to do than anything else, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a new videographer, you know, the common thing with any quote unquote, you know, popular term thrown around, creative now, is you only really notice them after they've already developed their craft.
Yeah. That's true.
You never see the behind the scenes. Like, you don't see the videos I made when I was 12.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't. There's a reason.
Yeah, you can.
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube that I had to private in the last year or so too, because it was just like, oof.
Man, some of the early videos I made on YouTube were just awful, so bad, and I'm just like, I can't believe that I did this. Like, this is crazy.
So like you probably, nobody can probably even find those, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're all deleted.
So I feel like there probably are people out there that are trying to do things like with their phone and, you know, try to do video and stuff, but you probably don't see it until it has become something.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like I vlogged for like 6 years, and it was really just for fun, you know, as far as like on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of my friends watched it like from school and stuff like that, but like, again, you don't see those videos anymore because the thing that broke out for me was the Instagram stories. And that's what a lot of people remember me or knew me from. Yeah. So, but like, they didn't see all the stuff before that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think everybody's got something that that brought them, or that, I don't even know how to say it.
That got them started. Cause like, even sitting at home, like if I was at my parents' house and just like, as a 15-year-old kid, for some reason I was like, let's film a video. And I don't know why I thought that.
Like you were bored that day, it was summer.
Like that was the thing I wanted to do. I don't know. I think it's really, it's like almost like you said, it's very like therapeutic for me to like do that process and like and film something and edit it and like have this finished product of like something that you did. You know, it's a cool experience.
And I love it because you never know, like you have an idea. You always have an idea of what it's going to be like before even the wedding day. You're like, oh, it's going to look like, you know, you have this vision in your head, like, oh dude, the shot's going to be dope. Yeah. You know, and it just doesn't work out. Like my best example was I just finished a New Year's Eve wedding, like 2 weeks ago or so. Okay. I wanted that so bad, you know, because of that, you know, cause it's like, dude, like, the dope shot of you know, the ball drop, because they wanted me until you know New Year's, and the balloons would fall and stuff like that. So I had this image in my head. I'm like, this is gonna be the best shot. Like this is going on all my demo reel. Like this is it. You know. And guess what?
It didn't get it.
They kissed, so they were supposed to kiss, and then the balloons are gonna fall behind them. Like I arranged everybody. I got the DJ to like organize everybody at the end of the night. So like they kiss, and like the net, because they were like held up by this net, and the net, like they cut the string, but it wasn't coming off. So like they kiss, and then they turn around and like they're just looking at it, and everybody's like tugging at it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, dude, it just fell apart. Like this was it. Yeah. You know, I mean, it was still a cool shot because it was essentially that's what I love about the process too, because I thought that was going to be the best shot if it went through, but instead I got two shots. I got one kiss, then the balloons falling, and then another kiss with the balloons falling. So that worked even better. Yeah. In a sense. Yeah. But I mean, you always have those ideas in your head. So when you get to the editing, you have no idea like what it's going to turn out. And it's going to turn out to be something completely different than you thought it was going to be. You know?
Yeah. Where do you start with like the editing process as far as like weddings? Like where, like, because editing, there's so many different shots, especially with weddings, that you probably love and like are good, but like how do you create like a story arc with a wedding? Or not even, I don't even know if that's your process, but.
Well, I have to find the songs first.
Okay.
And then after I've like kind of cut them up to be around the time length that I would want them to be.
Yeah.
I'd like sync all the ceremony stuff in real time in its own like sequence. Okay. So I can just pull that one thing down instead of having to select everything and pull it all in.
Yeah.
So I sync up everything for the ceremony then and everything for the speeches and stuff.
Okay.
And then I kind of go through those, find like the best parts of all those.
Yeah.
And kind of place them in the song where I feel like they're appropriate.
Okay.
And like I like type up some titles and stuff like in parts of the song where I'm like, okay, kiss right here. All right, B-roll shots of, them taking photos like over here.
Okay.
Like, oh, cocktail hour would be good here. Maybe
also,
jump
like,
back
based on the music, you can like visually.
So like I close my eyes and I'm like, all right, like what would be good for like the music, like right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I definitely build everything around the music, and then after that I have to go through every single shot and select like the ins and outs, and then I like type like like any kind of label where it's like, oh, bride looks back smiling.
Okay.
Something basic, so that when I go through all the footage, that I can just look and there's a visual reference without even watching the clip over again, where I can just go, okay, that'll be cool here. Okay, that'll be good there.
Yeah.
And then the ball really starts rolling.
Yeah.
But it's a process for sure, because it takes, like, if I were to do, a little piece by piece every single day for, a couple weeks, it would probably take me about 6 weeks if I stuck to it like super hard. But there are other projects, you want to spend some time, doing just something else, hang out with your girlfriend, play some video games with your friends, anything like that, that you're trying to have at least some time to do something else. Because the daily vlog grind taught me like, hey, you need to take some time away from, because that was a sacrifice, man. Like I couldn't hang out with friends late night. I had to go home and edit.
That's
stuff like that.
I was talking to someone recently about this, where it was like, I mean, if you do something all the time, like you have like little to no creativity going back to that, because like you have nothing to draw from, you know what I mean? Like if your whole entire life, like if my whole entire life was just dedicated to doing this podcast and I did nothing else, this podcast would suck. Because like I'm not living my life. I have no stories to tell. I have nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's just this. Like you need to be able to do other things. Otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and that's actually kind of what happened. Was I was really running out of ideas quickly, and I think it got so bad to where I like bought different kinds of water and like reviewed the water.
Oh, really?
Because I always wanted to do that. Like my friends would be like, we'd go to like Woodman's and pick out like a different water, because they have like an insane water selection.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, but then I like edited that video. I was like, this is going. What happened?
What am I doing? Yeah.
What am I doing? And then, and it became this thing where I had to buy something to make a video out of it or something. Where I had to buy like the CD to do some cool things, photo wise or something for the vlog that day. And that was a problem, because I was spending a lot of money like really fast, and I was like, I can't keep doing that. And then,
because you weren't creatively pulling stuff, because you weren't doing anything besides. It was like a vicious cycle of.
Well, and it's hard because it's everyday life, and you still feel like you there's nothing special about your everyday life. Yeah. But a lot of people like the stories where I would just clean my room or do laundry or something, because I would always try to find different shots, or like I would do a double at work, and my vlog would be my double at work that day, and I would have to find different angles, different perspectives and stuff to show that day. So like that was the creative, like really awesome part about doing it. Yeah. But it was the part that was also the most frustrating. Yeah. As far as like, I've already done this shot here, and then, so then you match all that on top of the fact that I started doing videos for other people and I was getting paid for it. Mm-hmm. And whether it would just be like vocal cover stuff or, anything, photos here, whatever. The difficult part was like the first time, because I would still be posting vlogs for myself like every single day. Yeah. I would give them a deadline, of like less than 2 weeks or something, Okay. But, you know, like you pay somebody for a video and they keep dropping, like, say 6 videos for themselves in a row. You're kind of like, you know, where's my video?
Yeah.
So people would, so, you know, a client or two would be like, haha, you know, nice. You know, how's my video coming? And while I could totally be assuming and I could be reading them wrong.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but it was every single client was doing that for a while.
It's like, oh, you're doing other video stuff, huh? But not my video.
Yep. And so that was combining with me losing ideas and not necessarily feeling burned out because I still love it, obviously.
Yeah.
But as far as the whole daily aspect of it, so you combined that and them being kind of sort of passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I was like, I just got to stop because that was coming up really close to the first wedding that I did. And I just felt like I needed to just stop everything.
Yeah.
And just really focus on getting a game plan because I knew that was like the biggest video that I will ever, you know, that I had ever done, you know, at the time. So that was why I stopped. And I still haven't even gone back.
Yeah.
You know, I stopped just before last May. So it's been almost a year since I've really done any video for myself.
Yeah.
So that's why when I said like, no, I'm doing this video of my mom and I'm doing this PewDiePie video because again, like I said, like I want more time for myself.
Yeah.
That also meant I wanted to be able to start doing videos for myself again. Not necessarily daily or even weekly, but I definitely want to like start doing those for myself because the video of my mom was just so good just because, I mean, the concept and everything was there and I had the emotion behind it.
Yeah.
But it was just multiplied by the fact that I hadn't done a video for myself in so long.
Yeah.
That it just really, it was like the perfect video for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
just for everyone, where can people find your stuff? Where can people, if they want to, you know, if they have a wedding coming up or any video, where can they find your stuff?
Definitely, I would direct you to www.ericdolister.com.
Okay.
So that's where I'm trying to put everything, photos, videos, and stuff. I'm not really the best at organizing it yet because I don't know exactly what it is and I'm trying to sell the most. Definitely weddings, but I want to be able to sell other things too.
Yeah.
Because I really like doing music videos if I can and photos of pretty much anything. You know, I haven't really found my thing to do with photos yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely ericdolister.com. My Instagram, also Eric Dolister. And YouTube, which is also Eric Dolister.
Awesome. Yeah, so go check it out if you
personal branding. Ooh,
yeah. Yeah, you're consistent.
Yeah.
Go check it out if you have anything you want filmed or whatever. I mean, you do more than just weddings, so you can do if you have an event or if you just want whatever filmed.
Yeah, man, I'm down for anything. I don't want to completely only do one specific thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, this has been awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.